Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Delta Report on this Tuesday evening, June 6th. Houston, we got a problem. And I'll try to explain it to you guys what it is. We're looking at a map of the Zaporizhia, one of the biggest nuclear power plants in the world. And Zaporizhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine. Now, what we're going to look at is the Dnipro River here and the dam system that they have. We come down this end of the river, right here. You see these dots right here, here, here. This is where the river narrows. We come in closer, you can see the river's it narrows, right? The mouth of the river narrows right here. And as it narrows, the Dnipro River, that's where they've dammed it. So that right in this section's in here where the river's dammed. This is where they've dammed the river, and this is where they've blown the dam out in these sections. Where the red dot is, Kherson Oblast floods right in there. That's where the area is where it's flooding. We go in closer and take a look. We can see a flat plain in here next to the river. Come in closer. And this is the Dnipro River, and this is where it's flooding, where they bursted the dam. Whoops, sorry. The floating head. Anyway, so we're moving in this way, and what we're going to take a look at, and what's of importance is I analyzed, moving along the river here. Let's zoom out a little bit. I analyzed the dam break. And they say that the level of the water is 30 meters. The dam raised the water 30 meters coming up this river. So we're looking at a huge reservoir of water. If we focus out here, especially in here around the nuclear power plant, a huge reservoir. And this huge reservoir is like 30 meters higher than it should be because of a dam. That's what dam does. It lifts the water level up in a river. And so now that the dam's gone, there's nothing to keep the water level up. Now, if we focus in here, this is the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant right here, what we're focusing in on. Okay, right here, we're coming in. We're taking a look from the air at the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. Now, what we're seeing here is the reactors. This red round dots here on the screen are the reactors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on. These are the reactors, reactor cores. And so there's not one nuclear power plant there. There's actually 6. Now, if you're thinking about Chernobyl or Fukushima, this is like 6 Fukushimas. So here it is. You can see, if we come in close, you can see the size of it. There's a container truck right there for size comparison next to it. See that? That's that right in the screen, right? Okay, just above my head. That's a container from a big truck. See this big round thing, how huge it is? That's just one of the reactor cores. And like I say, these are some of the biggest reactor cores on Earth. And right now, it's the Russians have got this place surrounded, and they've got this is, I guess, under their control. Here's the road in front. Now, what we're interested in right here is the containment pool, which is just on the other side of the reactors. Now, you can see reactors up here, like, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here's your containment pool right here. That's the containment pool. And we look in closer, we can see the water sprayers right here, where they're spraying the water out of the containment pool, I guess to try to cool it. Cools the water down. You see? This is all part of the cooling of these reactors, this containment pool. Now, right here is the entrance where they let water in and out of the containment pool. You see? Now, what this whole system relies upon to keep the reactors cool is this containment pool right here, and feeding, and they use pumps to feed the water in through the reactors. So they need a couple things, guys. What I'm pointing at is they need a couple things in order to keep you can't just shut down a nuclear reactor. I mean, you can, but it's something you have to keep the plant cool forever and ever. Because they have rods they take out of these reactors, and you have to keep them cool too. They store them, thousands of these nuclear rods that they store from these reactors. They have to be kept cool too. The whole system relies upon cooling. It also relies upon electricity to run the pumps that keep the plant cool. So it's relying upon a couple things: pumps to keep it cool, and water to keep it cool. And this is what happened at Fukushima. They had a tidal wave come in from the ocean, and the tidal wave flooded their generator systems that would pump the water to the reactors and reactor cores. And what happened as a result was they had a meltdown at Fukushima because of that. And then they couldn't get water to the reactor to cool it down. And so this is the case here. Is these nuclear reactors here are relying upon this big pool right here. And the pool is like, I mean, it's like a half a mile across this way, across this pool, and it's like a third of a mile across this way. And so it's a big pool of water that they have there, and it's broken off from the Dnepro River by this little narrow causeway right here, where they got a road across it, see? And they can let the water in and out. So the water inside here is kind of sealed inside this area right here is kind of sealed from the Dnepro River. But it is affected by the water level of the Dnepro River. And this is what we're getting at right now. And I mean, we've been working on this show, and I'm getting to a point here. This water level outside this pool is going to start dropping like crazy. It's going to drop down to the old levels, probably, that the river used to be before they put a dam in there. And you say, well, why is that a problem? It's a problem because as this water level drops outside this pool, it's going to have a tendency to drop the water level inside the pool. It's a natural nature of water, Water will find its level. And so as the water level drops out here, it'll drop in here too in this pool. But it'll take a while. It'll take weeks, if not months, for the water level to drop inside this pool. But if the water levels drop too low inside this pool, Houston, we got a problem. Because they won't be able to keep the reactor cores cool if the water level drops too low inside this pool. So we've dropped basically over the next period of time. This water level outside here is going to drop by somewhat of around 30 meters, which is a lot. It's not going to even look like it looks right now because the dam's gone. This picture was probably taken when the dam was still there. So this is going to take time to play out. But ultimately, this could cause massive problems. Because looking ahead, when this pool starts to go empty a few months down the road because the dam's broken. And who's going to fix the dam in a war region like that to make it so that it holds water again? See, this is a system. What you're looking at is this whole thing is a system. There's a Zaporizhia power plant, and down here they had a system of dams. A dam that the dam is actually part of the power plant system. Because the dam does a job. It keeps the water levels high so they can keep the reactors cool. Well, that's just been busted. So what happens if we have a meltdown of the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant? Which would be an absolute crisis. Well, it's right in the middle of the war zone. And I can only speculate on this, guys. But I'm saying to myself, hey, you know what? If they have a meltdown of this, say 4 months from now, this pool runs dry and they just can't keep these reactors cool. Well, of course, other people besides the Russians are going to want to have, because this would be an enormous environmental disaster, one of the largest nuclear plants on Earth. Of course, this situation could flare things up. I've always thought since the war started that this could be the Waterloo of the whole entire thing, the whole entire war. And it nearly was. When they first attacked in the early part of the war, they were dropping bombs and stuff around these nuclear reactors. So this is why I'm very concerned of this situation, but it's going to take a few months for this to play out. We're going to have to find out later just exactly what evolves from this situation down the road. But it could be a trigger for something much greater. And this is what I'm saying, a few months from now. The clock is ticking, in other words. The water levels are going to be dropping. First out here, of course, this pool is contained. But then when the water's gone out here, and the water might be, like, you see the water's right up to the edge of this pool. Well, after all that water drains out, the water might be way out here someplace. And this pool might start to just evaporate away. And what are they going to do about it? How can they fix things when they're in the middle of a war? This is the situation we're in right now, I'm afraid. And this could turn into a very tricky situation a few months down the road. So we're going to keep our eye on this channel very closely. This war has been, just like the COVID crisis, was hard on all of us. For the people who know about what's going on with this war, I mean, a lot of people just hide their heads in the sand. They don't pay any attention to this kind of stuff. They might get blindsided. You know, I mean, you guys should be prepping quite seriously, because we're already in a situation that could lead us to something much bigger, much nastier in a few months down the road. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys later, and have a great day. Bye-bye.